Ready to dive into something really special.
I'm all set.
You sent over some info on the TrilokNath temple, and wow,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. High up in the Himalayas in the Lahaul Valley of Himachal, Pradesh, India.
Beautiful spot.
This temple, it's revered by both Hindus and Buddhists. Talk about a melting pot of faiths.
What's fascinating is how it blends these two major religions. Hindus see the deity as Lord Shiva, while Buddhists worship it as Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion.
Okay, for our listeners who might not be familiar with the term, a bodhisattva in Buddhism is kind of like a super enlightened being. They could totally move on to nirvana, but choose to stick around and help the rest of us get there too. Selfless, right?
Absolutely.
So they're looking at the same image but seeing different aspects of the divine, both powerful in their own way.
Precisely. And this makes the TrilokNath Mandir, as the locals call it, more than just a temple. It's a symbol of unity, nestled in the breathtaking Lahaul Valley.
Right, and the name itself, TrilokNath, means Lord of the Three Worlds, like heaven, earth, and the underworld. Now, I might be jumping ahead here, but the temple's location, high in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Life there must be pretty challenging, right?
Huh.
Could this idea of the deity protecting all those worlds be tied to the very real need for, well, protection from the elements in that environment?
That's a great point. The geography adds another dimension to their faith. Imagine facing those harsh winters, avalanches. You'd definitely feel the power of nature every day.
For sure.
It makes sense that the deity, regardless of your faith, would become a source of comfort and strength.
So the temple becomes even more important as a community hub, not just for spiritual solace, but also for support, right?
Absolutely. And that sense of community really explodes during the Four Things Festival every August. The whole village comes alive with music, dancing, and a procession carrying the deity's idol.
Wow, I bet that's a sight to see. Speaking of the idol, what's it like? Is it a typical Shiva representation, or is it unique because of this dual faith thing?
Well, it's an ancient stone sculpture of Lord Shiva with 6 arms, a powerful image in Hinduism. But here's the twist. The walls of the temple are covered in Tibetan Buddhist artwork.
Wow, talk about a visual representation of blending traditions.
Isn't it?
So the same idol is the focal point for both Hindus and Buddhists.
Exactly. And the temple embraces both styles beautifully. The intricate wood carvings, the strong stone pillars, the fusion of Indian and Tibetan architecture.
Yeah.
It really embodies the harmony between the two faiths.
It's like the architecture itself is saying, hey, we're all in this together. You mentioned Tibetan artwork.
Right.
Is that something that came later, or has it always been part of the temple's story?
That's a great question, and it leads us deeper into the history of the TrilokNath Mandir. The temple dates back to the 9th century.
Wait, 9th century? That's over 1,200 years old. That's before the Norman conquest.
Yeah.
This temple has seen empires rise and fall,
It's incredible.
and it's still standing, a beacon of faith.
Exactly, but the Tibetan Buddhist influence came a bit later, around the 11th and 12th centuries. We'll delve into how Tibetan lamas brought their traditions to the region and how the temple became this amazing point of convergence.
Whoa, hold on. No breaks, remember?
Oh, right.
We're diving straight into the tale of Tibetan Buddhism's influence on the TrilokNath temple. It's like peeling back layers of history. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it. Okay, so imagine the 11th and 12th centuries. Tibetan lamas, these respected spiritual teachers, start arriving in the Lahaul and Spiti region,
Right.
bringing their own form of Buddhism with them.
So we have this ancient temple dedicated to Lord Shiva high in the Himalayas, and suddenly there's this new wave of spiritual thought. Did the Hindu community welcome these lamas, or was there a pushback?
Well, it seems like there was more collaboration than conflict. There are even local legends about Hindu priests and Tibetan monks working together,
Really?
finding ways to accommodate both faiths within the TrilokNath temple. It speaks volumes about their respect for each other's beliefs and a shared desire for spiritual growth.
Wow, that's remarkable. It would be easy to imagine clashes happening when different religions meet, but here they chose unity. It really adds to that image of the temple as a symbol of harmony.
Yeah.
How did this Tibetan Buddhist influence actually show up in the temple itself? Did they add new structures, or was it more subtle?
It's a really beautiful blend. Think about walking through the temple grounds and seeing colorful prayer flags fluttering in the wind alongside traditional Hindu offerings.
Okay.
Then you see the soft glow of butter lamps illuminating the space, a Buddhist practice that's become integral to the temple's ritual.
Oh, you mentioned butter lamps earlier. They represent the illumination of wisdom and compassion, right? That connects so well with the bodhisattva concept we talked about. Like these two faiths, while different in many ways, found common ground in these core values.
Exactly. And then there's the central idol itself.
Right.
Hindus see it as Lord Shiva, while Buddhists see it as Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion.
Okay.
Two interpretations, but both focused on the deity's power and kindness.
So we have two faiths coming together in this remote Himalayan temple, each with their own unique traditions, but instead of clashing, they blend seamlessly, respecting each other's practices and finding shared meaning in the same deity. It's like a masterclass in religious tolerance and understanding.
It really is. The TrilokNath temple shows that shared spirituality can transcend religious boundaries.
Speaking of transcending boundaries, you mentioned some amazing stories and legends associated with the temple.
Yes.
Beyond just the historical facts, tell me more about the milk miracle you mentioned. That sounds pretty wild.
Oh, it really captures the imagination. So picture the Pori festival in full swing. Devotees are offering milk to the deity, a traditional practice.
Right.
Then all of a sudden the milk poured over the idol starts overflowing.
Wait, seriously?
Like miraculously
Really?
covering the entire shrine.
Okay, hold on. So people are pouring milk on the statue and it just starts overflowing like magic. What did people think about that? Was it a bad omen or something positive?
Not a trick at all, but a divine sign, a blessing from the deity. They saw it as a symbol of abundance, protection, and the deity's favor upon the entire valley. Imagine witnessing that.
I bet.
It would strengthen your faith, right?
Absolutely. It's like something out of a movie. It makes you wonder if there are other stories about the deity intervening in people's lives,
Yeah.
especially in a place where life can be so unpredictable.
You know, that harsh environment probably did play a role in shaping those beliefs. And speaking of intervention, there's another story about the idol itself.
Go on.
It's believed to be self-manifested,
What's the name?
that the idol just appeared.
You're telling me no one carved it or brought it there?
That's what the legends say. The idol, without any human intervention, simply materialized.
Wow.
This, of course, adds to the mystique, fueling the belief that the idol holds immense power to grant wishes and provide protection.
Okay, we're talking Indiana Jones levels of mystical energy here. A self-manifested idol that overflows with milk.
It's pretty amazing.
All in a remote Himalayan temple shared by two major faiths. I'm officially hooked.
And there's more to that Lord of the Three Worlds idea. It goes deeper than just the name.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, for Hindus, this connection to heaven, earth, and the underworld links directly to Lord Shiva's role as the protector of those realms.
Okay, I'm following.
But here's the fascinating part. It resonates with Buddhists, too.
Now I'm intrigued. How does the concept of three worlds tie into Buddhism? I thought their focus was on enlightenment and escaping the cycle of rebirth.
Of Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion,
Why?
is also seen as a protector not just of humans, but of all realms of existence.
Oh, I see.
So while TrilokNath is rooted in Hindu cosmology, it takes on a new meaning for Buddhists, symbolizing Avalokiteshvara's boundless compassion for all beings.
It's like the temple was destined to be this point of convergence, even in its name.
But you also mentioned that this connection goes beyond the temple walls.
Yes.
Something about the deity being seen as a protector of the entire valley. That's right. Locals believe that the deity at TrilokNath, whether they see it as Shiva or Avalokiteshvara, acts as a guardian,
Wow.
shielding the whole Lahaul Valley from harm.
I'm seeing a pattern here. We have this remote, challenging environment where people face real dangers. The deity they worship, regardless of their specific faith, becomes a source of comfort and protection,
Right.
watching over them, ensuring their survival. The milk miracle story becomes even more powerful, right?
Exact.
It's not just a story, it's a reminder that the deity is present and active in their lives.
You got it. And that connection is reinforced during the Pori festival. The procession isn't just a celebration, it's a symbolic act.
I see.
reenacting ancient blessings, ensuring a good harvest, and seeking continued protection from the deity.
So it's like a ritual plea for the deity to keep watching over them, to keep them safe from the realities of living in the Himalayas.
Precisely. Think about it. For centuries, these communities have relied on their faith to deal with the challenges of this demanding environment. The TrilokNath temple, with its shared deity, becomes a powerful symbol of that resilience and a testament to the enduring power of faith.
This is incredible. We've gone from a basic description of a temple to uncovering layers of history, faith, and cultural significance. It's like a treasure chest, with each artifact revealing something new about this place.
And we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to learn about this temple.
For sure.
The art, rituals, and the impact it has on the people of this remote valley.
I'm ready to book a flight to the Himalayas right now. But before we get too carried away, let's bring this deep dive back to our listener. What are your thoughts? Are you surprised by how two different faiths can coexist so peacefully? Have you ever encountered a similar example of shared spirituality?
That's a great question. It leads us to what makes the TrilokNath temple so extraordinary. It challenges us to think about faith, not as something that divides, but as something that can connect us, even across huge differences.
Exactly. But before we get too philosophical, let's wrap up part 2 of our deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore even more about the TrilokNath temple. Until then, keep those butter lamps burning. Back again for more Himalayan adventures.
I gotta say, that last part left me feeling pretty awestruck.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Who knew a single temple could hold so much history, faith, and just well-meaning?
The TrilokNath Mandir really is a testament to the power of faith and that human desire to connect, even when facing hardship.
And speaking of connection, we've been talking about how the TrilokNath temple brings together Hinduism and Buddhism, but it's more than just them existing side by side, right?
Definitely.
It's the shared reverence for the same deity, just seen through different perspectives.
Exactly. It really challenges that idea that different religions have to be at odds with each other.
Yeah.
Up there in that remote Himalayan valley, it's a totally different story. A story of acceptance, collaboration, and shared devotion.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
About the temple's remote location and that challenging environment. Do you think that shared reverence for the deity, whether it's Shiva or Avalokiteshvara, is connected to needing protection and survival in such a harsh landscape?
That's a really interesting question. I think it gets to the heart of what makes this temple so unique. Imagine living in a place where the forces of nature are constantly present.
Yeah.
Avalanches, those brutal winters, unpredictable weather. It's all part of daily life.
It would definitely make you feel pretty small, like you need something bigger than yourself to rely on.
Exactly. And that's where the deity at TrilokNath comes in. Whether you see it as Shiva, protector of the three worlds, or Avalokiteshvara, embodying compassion.
Right.
The core message is the same. You're not alone. There's a force out there watching over you, guiding and protecting you.
It gives those stories, like the milk miracle and the self-manifested idol, and even the Puri festival procession, a whole new layer of meaning, doesn't it?
For sure.
It's not just blind faith. It's about finding comfort and strength in a world that can feel pretty chaotic.
Exactly. The TrilokNath temple, with its shared deity and blended traditions, it becomes a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the most remote parts of the world, people find ways to connect, support each other, and find meaning in something bigger than themselves.
It's a pretty powerful message. And it makes you think, right? If they can find that kind of harmony in such a tough environment, maybe there's hope for the rest of us too.
It's inspiring for sure.
Maybe we can learn from their example and find ways to bridge our own divides, to see past our differences and recognize what connects us as humans.
That's the beauty of exploring places like the TrilokNath temple. It expands our understanding of faith and its potential to unite rather than divide.
Well said. So, listener, are you ready to start your own journey of discovery? Maybe there's a place in your own community, a shared space, a story waiting to be told that speaks to this same spirit of unity. Who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to visit the Himalayas and see the magic of the TrilokNath temple firsthand. But until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep looking for those connections that make the world a better place.
And wherever your journey takes you, may you always find the strength and compassion to bridge those divides and celebrate the things that connect us all.
That's a perfect note to end on. It's time to wrap up our deep dive into the TrilokNath temple. We hope you've enjoyed the journey with us. Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning, and keep those butter lamps burning bright.
ध्याड़ी ध्याड़ी ए मना सो